Here we go. First real scramble coming right up. Hey, so for today's hike, I'm taking the Algonquin Trail in the Sandwich Range Wilderness in New Hampshire up to Sandwich Dome, and if there's time, going up to Jennings Peak. So I got a bit of a later start this morning than I'd been intending to, and then hit some traffic, which I knew I was going to. I mean, it's a beautiful day. It's a Saturday in the White Mountains at peak foliage. So I'm not surprised there were a lot of people coming up to do pretty much what I'm doing today. Just intentionally, I picked a trail that would probably be less populated. And so far it's panning out, although parking was a little tighter than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't sure how many people were going to make that venture up Sandwich Notch Road, which itself, right on the Terrifying 25 website, they say that the road itself honestly deserves a place on the Terrifying 25, and I don't disagree. My car did fine. Shadowfax, the Subaru. But I'm a little surprised there were as many cars here as there are. But that being said, I have not encountered another walking person yet. And I'm alright with that. Came out here for some solitude with nature, and so far that is definitely panning out. It's a gorgeous day here. It's in the high 40s, I believe, right around 50, which is very comfortable hiking weather. It's actually my ideal temperature for hiking. I hike hot, especially when I'm climbing, a decent sized mountain. So I appreciate the natural air conditioning this time of year. Well, we're in for a good hike today. I'm going to try to capture as much of the scenery as I can. Don't know how much of the quote-unquote terrifying sections of the trail I'm going to capture. Just, to preserve life and limb. Probably not a good idea to have my phone out while I'm hiking some of those sections. But I'll see how much I can get. Man, those trees are just beautiful. This is it here. Peak weekend. Now, one thing I'm being mindful of as I'm walking here, especially on a little used trail like this one in the middle of the wilderness area, is that wildlife is definitely something I'm likely to encounter, be it moose, bears, something along those lines. So I'm going to err on the side of talking to myself just to let them know I'm here. I mean, I'm really not worried about them. I just want them to know that I'm here and keep their distance, and I'll keep mine, and everything will work out all right in the end. So right about at the 1 mile mark, the trail steepened up. It went from pretty much completely level to a pretty consistent steep climb. It's now starting to kind of ease a little bit. But, it was nothing crazy. Pretty much your standard White Mountains steep trail. But definitely, it was definitely a noticeable change after that flat section. And now, we're just starting to get into rocks. And look at that moss. Oh my gosh, that looks so soft. Ah, it's beautiful in here. The foliage is just stunning right now. This is a cool spot over here. Wow, the character of the landscape has just completely changed. Rocks and moss and the hemlocks are really dominating right now. This is definitely a magical section of the forest right here. Getting our first glimpse of what I'm quite certain is a false peak. There's no way it's this close. We're like barely 2 miles in, not even. Well, we're about 2 miles in, and right on cue, it has steepened up quite a bit yet again. Things have gotten a lot rockier over here. Wow, it's pretty impressive. Okay, that rock just moved. Be aware, some of these rocks are not stationary. There's a hint of a view right through those trees. Kind of hard to see. But I'm pretty sure it was the actual summit. Could see just a little bit of a rocky cone. And actually, you know what, there's a bigger one with a smaller one next to it. So I think that was, if I am not wrong, that was Sandwich Dome and Jennings Peak to the left of it. If I have time, I would like to hit Jennings, but it's alright if I don't. I do want to take the time to really just enjoy being here. This is a spectacularly pretty trail. I will say so far, of the terrifying 25 trails I've done, granted I've only done 2 electives so far, so this will be my 3rd. I did Beaver Brook up Moosilauke, and I did Airline up to Adams earlier this summer. And I like the 2 of those quite a lot. But I think this one, so far, you know, I haven't gone to the rock scrambles and stuff yet, but I would say so far I'm enjoying this one the most, just for sheer beauty. Now granted, those 2 are no slouches for beauty either, especially Beaver Brook with the waterfalls and everything going alongside the trail. But this is just in a league of its own for the woodland beauty. Now granted, also, I'm doing this in the week of peak foliage, so that might also have something to do with it too. But I really like this trail. Not long after I recorded that section of video there at around the 2 mile mark where things get really steep, shortly after that, it leveled out completely. So that was a nice little break. So, you know, you get these steep stretches and then a short break, a little more steepness, a little more climbing, and then eventually I'll be getting into the legit scrambles. Actually pretty excited about that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of variety along this trail. I like that. Here we go. First real scramble coming right up. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put my camera away for this. But I think there's gonna be a spectacular view once I get on top of this. You ready for this? Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, here we go. A little more scrambling left to do over here. Whew, well that was interesting. That was quite the scramble right there. Took me a little bit to figure out the handholds and the footholds, and I'll tell you one thing, going down that will be something else. But it was a good challenge. I enjoy a good puzzle. That's really what rock scrambling is. It's a puzzle. You gotta find the right places to put your feet and your hands so you can support yourself. Oh, you know what? I bet there's an overlook right here. Definitely a herd path. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that makes the scramble worth it. Got an absolutely fantastic view of Moosilauke right there. Last time I did a terrifying 25 was up that mountain right there. This is spectacularly beautiful. There was a gray jay that just flew by. Whew. Oh, wow. Stop for a little lunch break over here. So far, I haven't passed one other person. Nobody coming down, nobody going up. Got this whole trail to myself so far. I do not mind this. So quiet, so peaceful up here. This right here is why I climb these things. All right, time to press on. All right, here's that intersection with the Black Mountain Pond Trail, which is another way down, right down that way. Whew. And here we go in Algonquin, on the way to the summit. All right, about 1.5 miles to go to the summit of Sandwich Dome. This is a really fun ridgeline to walk on over here. You get all these incredible views. You know, like I said earlier, this trail has a tremendous variety, from the rock scrambles to the ridgeline walks to the forest, and all of it is really cool. There's that balsam smell I love so much. It smells like Christmas. Yep, we got some moose poop over here. Not a bad place to hang out if I was a moose. I mean, not a bad place to hang out as a human either. If I'm being honest, this is amazing. I love these ridgeline walks. This little section right here kind of reminds me of the first 52 with a view I ever did. Well, actually no, that's a lie. I did Monadnock when I was a little kid. But the first 52 with a view that I did intentionally, meaning to do a 52 with a view, was Mount Martha. Whoa, more moose poop all over the place. Oh my gosh. Okay. Clearly this is a moose hangout over here. Anyhow, Mount Martha, right after the summit, between the summit of Mount Martha and Owl's Head, the Mount Martha Owl's Head, or Cherry Mountain. I tell you, that mountain has multiple names, but anyhow, Martha's Mile is this 0.9 mile section of trail that runs between Owl's Head and the main summit of Mount Martha. And it kind of looks like this magical little woodland area. Oh my gosh, I love that. That was just like that was a light bulb moment for me. It was like, ooh, I think I can get used to this. Oh my gosh, beautiful in here. So, in the interest of time, knowing that these mid-October days get pretty dark pretty quickly, I think I'm going to skip Jennings, because that would be another 1.1 miles each way from the summit of Sandwich Dome over to Jennings Peak. So that would add 2.2 miles to the hike, and I think in the interest of getting down before it's completely dark, although I do have a headlamp, which I'm totally fine with using should I need it. For the interest of not doing some of those terrifying sections in the dark, I'm going to just do Sandwich and then head back down. It's still a really, really good climb. And it just gives me reason to come back for Jennings another day, which I am totally fine with. Oh man, you can just see a hint of those views through the trees on either side. This is really pretty. Well, I can officially say I've finished the Algonquin Trail. Now, onto the summit. All right, here we are. Summit of Sandwich Dome. Check out that view. All right. Well, there's the pin marking the summit. Time to head back down. So the strategy for getting down this terrifying section, toss the poles and just slide. Here we go. Man, it's pretty in here. Okay, so I just came down this spot. This is probably the most difficult section of trail. I would definitely say going down was surprisingly easier than going up. The secret is to come down. There's a lot of handholds and a lot of roots. You know, honestly, just find a section and just lower yourself down, holding on with your arms. Just lower yourself down slowly until your feet find something to land on, and then you're good. I tossed my poles down. There's one and there's the other. Now it's pretty conventional descent the rest of the way down. That's a relief. Man, the foliage. That is some color. My gosh. I gotta say, I'm very glad I skipped Jennings so I could really take my time and enjoy and appreciate the sheer beauty surrounding me. I think sometimes I come up with a planned hike that's perhaps a little longer than I should, and then I end up rushing on the way back, and I don't really take the time to enjoy how beautiful it is where I'm hiking. I mean, I drove over 2 hours to get here, so I might as well enjoy this beauty while I'm here. And it is stunningly beautiful. I gotta say, I really like all these glacial erratics that are scattered around this area. Really drives home the point that glaciers were a force to be reckoned with. Holy crap. Crazy to think this whole area was covered in ice. Honestly, geologically speaking, not that long ago. And that just blows my mind. That ice could move boulders like that. Oh my gosh. All right, back to this spot, because we're pretty much back. Well, I am back to the car, and that was a great hike. The weather was absolutely perfect today. I appreciate the cooler temperatures. I was just telling some guys who finished the trail same time I did. I mean, I appreciate this kind of weather because otherwise it's just, it's no good. So this was perfect. Peak foliage. I really was amazed by the scenery. The challenge level was just about right. Like, honestly, it definitely belongs on the Terrifying 25. I can see why it's classified as a T25 trail, but it wasn't ridiculous. I mean, there's just a couple spots that take some figuring out. Um, but it felt good to get it done, and it felt good to get to the bottom and to have beat the sunset. I'm not opposed to hiking with a headlamp. I mean, I honestly, that'd be fine. I just honestly wanted to get past the steep part of the descent first. So that last like mile and a half of basically flat walking it would be totally fine with just a headlamp. So, if you're planning a hike of this trail, I would recommend doing it at a time when you know you have enough sunlight to get up and back through those terrifying sections of the trail. I do know there is an alternate route. There's that Black Pond or Black Lake trail. I don't know much about it. I avoided it because number one, it would have been 5.1 miles back from that intersection as opposed to, or actually 5.1 plus a road walk. So probably 5.5 as opposed to the 2.8 of just doing Algonquin down. But I mean, if you're really squeamish about doing the terrifying section on the way down, that's technically an alternative. It just would be longer, and I just don't know much about it. I mean, for all I know, it could be another steep trail. So I'd have to do some research on it before fully recommending that people consider that as an alternate way down. But honestly, all told, Algonquin was totally doable up and down. And, I took my time. It took me about 5.5 hours all told to do the full hike. And it was great. I had a great time. And now I am very hungry. And I am definitely going to go seek out dinner. So catch you on the next one.